Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair, I can confirm that it is 4 p.m. and we are now live streaming and recording. You may begin your meeting.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to welcome everyone today, and I'd like to call the meeting to order and declare that a quorum is present. So I would ask Ms. Assistant Secretary Treasurer, would you please begin this hearing with the land recognition statement, please?
Yes, absolutely. We begin this meeting by acknowledging the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee and the Anishinaabe peoples, many who continue to live and work here today. The territory is covered by the Upper Canada Treaties and is within the land protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. Today is the gathering place. This gathering place is home to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples, and acknowledging reminds us that our great standard of living is directly related to the resources and the friendship of the Indigenous peoples. Through you, Mr. Chair, you may proceed with your introduction.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to start by introducing our hearing panel. I have there in the middle picture, Sandra Marsh, would you please acknowledge there? And then we have Brenda Stan. Would you acknowledge Brenda, please? And my John Clausen here. And then we have Sarah Least is the Assistant Secretary Treasurer, and that's the only ones I see. And there's Shannon LaRock. She's our Senior Planner. Okay. I would like to proceed with the opening statements. This is an electronic hearing of the Committee of Adjustment for the Town of Pelham. Everyone present and viewing at home via live stream will be given an opportunity to comment on the application being heard. Please address your comments and questions through the chair. This public meeting has been called to satisfy requirements of the Planning and Council bylaws. Notice of this meeting has been given by prepaid first-class mail to all persons listed as owners in the last revised assessment roll within 60 meters, 200 feet of the subject properties. In addition, a public notice sign has been posted on the lines and information has been provided to the town's Committee of Adjustments webpage. Agencies comment on application may request that certain conditions be imposed should an application be approved. Voicing objections to these conditions will not adversely affect the committee's decision. You have your right to say what you want there. The purpose of the application and relative correspondence will be heard, following which the applicant will be given the opportunity to address the application. Pre-registered participants will remain in the waiting room until you are called to speak. Please be advised once you have finished speaking, you will be removed from the Zoom room meeting. If you are live streaming at home and wish to submit a comment to be read during the public portion, you may do so by emailing clerks@pelham.ca. Comments received following the public opinion will not be, a public portion will not be considered. Once we finish the public portion, that's it. At the conclusion of the discussion, the committee will render a decision and advise of any applicable conditions. Specific wording for conditions will be determined by committee following the public portion of this hearing. Copies of decisions will be mailed to the applicant, agent, and members of the public that have submitted comments. Notice of decision can also be obtained by request to the Secretary Treasurer. Any person, corporation, or public body has the right to appeal either the decision itself or the conditions of the consent to the Ontario Land Tribunal within 20 days of the decision for minor variances and within 20 days of the mailing of the decision for consent applications. We ask that all participants are mindful of background noise for the duration of the meeting. That's why I turned off my clock. If you are not speaking, it is recommended that you mute yourself. Committee members are asked to raise their hand if you would like to speak and vote. And I'll recognize that when I see the hand. Applicants, agents, and attendees are advised that they are free to leave the webinar once a decision has been made for the application. So at this time, I would ask all committee members if they have any pecuniary interest in the application we're going to hear. Sandra?
I have none.
Brenda?
I have none.
And I, John Clausen, have none. Okay, now, before we start, are there any requests for withdrawal or adjournment? Assistant Secretary Treasurer.
Through you, Mr. Chair, there has not been.
Okay, then we will proceed to hear the first application. Our first application is, I'm just looking here. Yeah, minor variance application A5/2022P, 27 College Street, Pelham.
Yes, thank you. I will proceed to share our presentation.
Yeah, would you please? Thank you.
Certainly. Okay. Committee of Adjustment hearing Wednesday, June 1st, 2022 at 4 p.m. All Town of Pelham in-person Committee of Adjustment hearings have been canceled. Instead, the town is holding all Committee of Adjustment hearings electronically via Zoom. Please note that no decisions have been made prior to this public meeting. This presentation is based upon the Town of Pelham's Planning Department report and analysis. All comments have been received from commenting agencies and the public have been forwarded in full to the Committee of Adjustment members for their consideration. Participants are reminded, please ensure your background is free from offensive or vulgar material. If inappropriate material is visible, you will be removed from the meeting. Vulgar or offensive language will not be tolerated. If inappropriate language is used, you will be removed from the meeting. Participants will remain in the waiting room until they are called to speak. Once your comments have been heard by the committee, your microphone will be muted. Once voting on the item has taken place, participants will be removed from the meeting completely. You may resume viewing the meeting via live stream. Please note that the Zoom chat is not being monitored nor recommended to contact the Clerk's Department during the meeting. Please contact us via email at clerks@pelham.ca. This email is being monitored during the meeting. Decorum. The Committee of Adjustment is a formal public hearing requiring decorum. This means that all comments are to be made through the chair. If you have pre-registered to speak, you will be given an opportunity to address the committee at the public portion of the meeting. If you are live streaming and wish to submit a comment live, please use the clerks@pelham.ca email address. Please note that comments must be received during the public portion of the meeting, otherwise they will not be considered. Disrespectful comments will also not be tolerated. Please note that if decorum is lost, the meeting may be recessed and persons will be asked to leave. To allow for an efficient meeting, each member of the public will be given the opportunity to speak to the committee during the public portion of the meeting. Please note that after all members of the public have been given the opportunity to speak, the applicant or agent will have the opportunity to address the public comments and concerns at one time. Application for minor variance, file A5-2022P, 27 College Street. The subject land is located on the north side of College Street, lying west of Station Street, known locally as 27 College Street in the town of Pelham. The minor variance application requests relief from Section 6.1c, maximum height, to permit a maximum height of 5.36 meters, whereas the bylaw allows 4.75 meters. To date, the following comments have been received. From the Building and Public Works Department, please see conditions. No public comments were received from the public at the time of writing this report. Minor variance tests. Is the variance minor in nature? Yes, the requested increase to the maximum height is not anticipated to have significant impacts on the subject property with regards to the massing of the accessory building or create sightline issues. The garage addition is considered moderate in scale and adequate distance remains separating the nearest residential neighbor from the accessory building. The building is generally in line and slightly set back from that of the existing dwelling. The additional height requested will not impact the streetscape and hinder the character of the surrounding neighborhood. Is the variance desirable for the development or use of the land? Yes, the variance is requested to facilitate a proposed detached garage to accommodate for the homeowner's storage and studio needs. The requested increase in height will have a minimal impact to the existing neighborhood and abutting property to the east and west. The variance is not anticipated to have a negative impact on the streetscape. Does the variance maintain the general intent and purpose of the official plan? Yes, the surrounding neighborhood is generally characterized by 1- and 2-story single detached dwellings. The official plan states that development and redevelopment shall maintain and enhance the character and stability of existing and well-established residential neighborhoods with regard to scale and density. Staff are of the opinion that the requested variance is not considered to have a significant impact within the context of the official plan policies and will facilitate the development of the detached garage that is compatible with and generally in keeping with the low-density residential character of the neighborhood. Does the variance maintain the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw? Yes. The variance relates to a requested increase of maximum height of 0.61 meters. The intent of the bylaw is to ensure that a consistent roof line is maintained along streetscapes and that the shadowing would not impact adjoining neighbors as a result of the additional height. The proposed height is not anticipated to have a significant visual impact, and adequate yard space remains to mitigate shadow cast by the structure. Staff are of the opinion that the proposed height is appropriate and in keeping with the character of the street. Staff are of the opinion that the proposal makes efficient use of the land, will not result in the overbuilding of the property, will not alter the view, sightlines, or personal enjoyment of the subject property or any neighboring property, and the proposal should not negatively impact the surrounding neighborhood with regard to land use and compatibility, traffic, privacy, and stormwater runoff. Planning staff recommend that application number A5-2022P be approved subject to the following conditions. That the applicant apply for and receive a building permit for the proposed accessory building prior to construction. That the applicant submit an updated lot grading and drainage plan to demonstrate that the drainage does not negatively impact nor rely on neighboring properties to the satisfaction of the Director of Public Works. And that the applicant obtain a driveway access and culvert permit from the town for the construction of a new driveway or any modification to an existing driveway or entrance. Installation and/or the modification of the new entrance shall be completed in accordance with the town standards prior to the building permit, and the applicant shall bear all costs associated with the works. If you wish to receive a copy of the notice of decision, please contact the Secretary Treasurer in writing as soon as possible. Holly Wilford, Secretary Treasurer to the Committee of Adjustment, 20 Pelham Town Square, P.O. Box 400, Fawn Hill, Ontario, LOS 1EO, hwilford@pelham.ca. This contact information can also be found on the Town of Pelham's website.
Thank you. I guess you're well bring in the applicants.
Yes, absolutely. Just a moment. We do have the applicant, Mr. Rick Yazvinsky, in the meeting with us. Mr. Yazvinsky, can you hear us? I see that you are muted.
There we go. Yes, I can.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
There we go. Hello.
Mr. Yazvinsky, if you have any comments, now would be the time to share them.
Nope. Thank you for hearing my application. It sounds very positive.
Thank you.
I would ask that, I've looked at the drawings and that. I think if you want to run us through what you intend to do and just give us a brief summary of what you want to do, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, for sure. Fundamentally looking to build a 2-car garage. Above the 2-car garage, we wanted to have some space. My wife is a hobbyist stained glass worker. We wanted our own little personal gym up there as well. So we just wanted the extra roof line to be able to have more functional space on the second floor without, increasing the footprint of the garage.
Okay. A couple of questions. The exterior in that, you right now, your house is masonry, correct?
Correct.
Are you going masonry here, or are you
we're thinking vertical board and batten vinyl siding.
Okay, so you'll have a fairly nice architectural feature there then.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the town, you have town water in the sewer there, correct?
Correct.
So I didn't see the department make any comment about how to run the sewer or the water, so I'm assuming that we don't have to be concerned about that.
Yeah, no sewer or water to the garage.
And trees, landscape. I saw there you're looking on the east side where you want to put it with a lot of trees. How much of an impact is this going to have? Right now, people with the building, you really can't see much. You got trees and everything in the way. Maybe once you start cutting trees, you might start hearing people.
So the gardens around this property are I guess third generation now. My wife's grandfather bought this property in the 40s, I guess, and built the property, and her grandmother and then her aunt, and now she is tending the gardens. We intentionally placed this building to have the minimal impact to the gardens and the trees. So the hope is that we're going to be able to build it without taking out any of the trees, and maybe just pruning them back a little bit.
Okay. Brenda or Sandra, do you have any questions? Sandra?
I have no questions. Thank you.
Brenda? Okay, fine. I think we can, Sarah, I have no further questions. And we don't have any other comments from any in the audience, correct?
No, we do not have any pre-registered speakers. However, I will just check the clerks at Pelham.ca email address to see if we've received any emails.
That's what I wanted to ask, yeah.
Okay. I can confirm that it is 4:18 p.m. and we have received no emails. Therefore, you may close the public portion of the meeting and move into committee input.
Okay, then we will close the public portion of the meeting. If Brenda and Sandra have no further questions, I have no questions, then we can ask for a motion to whatever, either for or against. Do I have from either Brenda or Sandra a motion to accept the application as written?
Mr. Clausen, I'd like to make a motion at file A5 2022P 27 College Street in Pelham, that the application made for the minor variance of the maximum height of 5.36 meters be granted for the following reasons. The variance is minor in nature as it has significant impact. No significant impact is anticipated regarding the massing, streetscaping, or sightline. The zoning bylaw is maintained. The intent of the official plan is maintained. The proposal is for our land as a physical construction of a detached. The application is granted without prejudice to any other application in the town of Pelham. No objections were received from commenting agencies or abutting property owners. If adjustment considered the written and oral comments and agree with the minor variance report analysis and recommendations that this application tests for minor variance. The following conditions would be imposed: that building permits be approved and obtained prior to construction, that they submit an updated lot grading and drainage plan, and that they obtain a driveway access and culvert permit for construction of a new driveway or any modification to the existing driveway.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder?
I second that.
Thank you, Brenda. And I'll ask that we put it to the vote. All in favor, raise your hand, please.
I'm raising my hand, but it's slow.
Yes, sorry, our connection is a bit slow.
Okay,
Sorry
carried.
about that.
Application is granted. Thank you, Mr. Yarwinski.
Great. Thanks very much for your time.
You're welcome. we have no minutes to approve or anything. Sarah?
We do not have any minutes for approval this evening.
Well, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Has to either be Brenda or Sandra.
Yes, sorry, you might need to verbally state your motion as we're a little bit
I'll make the
slow.
motion. Adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Carried.
Excellent, thank you.
So see you 5th of July.
Okay, perfect. Have a great night, everyone.
Okay,
Yeah.
good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.